Every woman has a unique story, a distinct voice, but there's one thing we all share: the need to understand money.
Despite advancements, many of us are still left in the dark when it comes to our finances. It's time to shed light on this crucial knowledge. According to projections, by the year 2030, women are set to control a staggering $30 trillion in financial assets, representing approximately 2/3 of our country's entire wealth. Further, it's estimated that while 80% of men die married, 80% of women die single. We've made great economic and academic progress, but women earn just 82 cents for every dollar earned by a man. These statistics highlight the evolving dynamics of wealth and relationships, underscoring the importance for women to take control of our finances today.
These books, showcased on TV and the internet, are more than just pages. They can become a pathway to financial literacy, delivering valuable insights, practical tips, and actionable strategies to help you seize control of your financial future and reach your goals.
Learn from women who have transformed their financial destinies with this knowledge. Their stories are real, powerful, and inspiring.
But this is just the beginning. We're inviting you to join a movement, a financial education movement for women, by women.
Financial education is not just about numbers. It's about freedom, confidence, and creating the lifestyle and legacy you want. Join our women's financial education movement. Embrace the power of financial knowledge. Whether you're established, just starting out, or starting over, now is the time to be part of the revolution. Read the How Money Works for Women book, enroll in a How Money Works books course, or attend a workshop, or simply start an open and honest conversation about finances with your friends. Together, we can redefine the future of wealth, a future where women are not just watching from the sidelines, but leading the way. Your journey starts now. Be bold, be the change, take control.
Hello, everyone. I hope you guys can all hear me okay. Thank you for being here with us today. You guys, every time I see that video, it totally guts me in the stomach. And I am so happy to be here today to really talk about this topic. So we welcome you all, and we're going to get started right away because we have a lot to cover. My name is Marianne Galicia. I am a How Money Works educator, and I've been working for this company for about 6 years. 6 years, just this past year, and it has changed my life. I am a nurse by trade, and joining this business has even given me more. I'm somebody who just loves to help, but I've been able to help so many people, so many families, so many women really learn how to make money, save money, and really change the trajectory of their lives. And it's changed the trajectory of my life. Just a little bit about me really quickly. Again, like I said, I'm a nurse by trade, and I joined this business to change my life because I wanted to own my time. And not only that, but I wanted to change my family's trajectory, like I said. And last year, unfortunately, we had the biggest financial storm I could have thought about in my life. I actually lost my husband a year ago. It was sudden, it was unexpected. It was the biggest financial storm that could hit my family, and we were devastated. And honestly, the reason why I am wanting to share my mission today is because 14 years ago, before my husband and I got married, we actually sat down with a financial professional to talk to us and set us up with a strong financial foundation. And I have this mission that I want to help people more and more every day. I want to help people like me, women like me, people of color. Anyways, with that being said, that is why you are here today. And we hope that you guys take away something today that will help your family and yourselves. So I'm very pleased to introduce to you our special guest presenter. This lady is not only my colleague, but she is one of my dearest friends, and we have been able, because of what we do in our company and our mission, we have become so close. She is a wonderful mentor to me, and just is a wealth of knowledge, one of the smartest women I know. Shantae Moore has been in the financial service industry for over 15 years. She's worked at many of the large investment companies that you guys have heard of, but she's actually coming to us and she's been with us for 10 years of her career because she loves our mission. She loves what we do and she loves how we can service each and every family. She's a certified financial educator. She's an investment advisor representative, and she's one of our senior leaders here at the Oak Brook Learning Center. You guys are all in for a treat to hear this special message from Shantae. So Shantae, I'll turn it over to you. Thank you
Thank
guys.
you so much, Marianne. I appreciate that. And good evening, everyone. Welcome to our special webinar presentation. It is Women's History Month. And I know we're at the end of the month, but that's fine. We're still celebrating it. We're still recognizing all the awesome contributions of women across history. And tonight's webinar is specifically to share about our company and how I believe we are transforming so many women's lives in the financial industry, so many families, the thousands and families that we've helped all across the country. And I hope that tonight you walk away inspired. I hope you walk away a little bit more intrigued and take screenshots through the presentation as well. I'm so happy to see so many fabulous women joining us and men. We love our men allies as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the presentation and, just follow along with me. We're just going to tell a story. We're just going to talk about, what are we doing here? So, and like Marian mentioned, like, why are you here? Just have that as a question to think about through this presentation. I know someone invited you, whether you are a guest of mine or one of the other How Money Works educators that we have joining us this evening. But the reason why they extended that invite is because they see something special in you. And they want you to see the amazing work that our company does, how we make money, how we help so many people doing that. And I really hope that you walk away seeing that this company is a place where you belong. But as we kind of go through this information too, I want to start having real conversations. Can we have a real conversation tonight with all the women here tonight? And just start asking ourselves, like, what's really keeping us up at night? What is really, oh, sorry, I'm trying to get my slide to advance here. There we go. What's keeping you up at night? I'm a single mom of three, divorced mom. And the things that keep me up at night are the things that worry me about my children. And not only my children, but my family, my loved ones, people that I care about. What are those things that keep you up at night? Do you feel like you can ever get ahead? How many of us have felt like, especially financially, like I'm stuck. I'm not really going anywhere. Am I saving enough money? Am I doing enough? What if you're an older age? Are you worried about outliving your money? That's a real concern that a lot of women are having as we age and live longer lives. Who will take care of you if you get sick? I think we are, as women, we're the caretakers, right? But especially if you're single like me, who's going to jump in and stop their lives and take care of me? That's something that, I worry about. And don't we all want to leave a legacy for our future generations, for our future family members, our loved ones that we care so much about? So I want you all to think as I have this conversation, and I'll share a lot of statistics. I'll share how our company is combating these issues that women face. But let's be real with ourselves. I think we live in a world where we put on our game face, right? We always show the best side of things that are happening, and that might not always be the case. Um, we might not always be the ones who are actually as happy as we show and perceive. So just want you all to think about that tonight. Something that was super important to me as I went through a divorce that happened about almost 7 years ago. And I found myself in the worst financial position ever going through that divorce. I found myself separated out of my home that I had created with my ex-husband and moving back in with my mother and sister, having very little to no financial resources. I came through that divorce on the worst side of it. Financially, I didn't benefit from it at all. It actually came out worse going in. And it was probably the worst financial time of my life, of my adulthood. And during that time, though, I had this company, I had this business to still hold on to and to still work. And I knew that no longer having a partner in my life, the one thing that I needed absolute control of was my time, because now I was the full time provider for my children. I was the one getting up day in, day out, taking them to school, taking care of them, taking care of everything that they needed on my own. And that's what control looked like to me. And I know for a lot of us women, because we have so many jobs, so many roles that we maintain in our careers and in our homes and our families, what does control look like to you? What do you want more control of? For me, it was my time. I needed my time. And I'll share a little bit about that as I go through the rest of the slides. But also, I want you to think about, what lifestyle do you want to create for yourself? I remember that year that I got divorced, I didn't have any money for Christmas. It was so bad that the only gifts that my children received were some donations from our Catholic church in our neighborhood. And I'm not ashamed to share that story. A lot of my colleagues don't even know that, who are joining me tonight. And but it was a real situation. Divorce is not fun. And I know a lot of you women, maybe divorce isn't your story. That's just mine. But that point in my life, I said, you know what? At no point ever moving forward do I want my children to ever experience lack. Do I want them to ever desire something and believe or think that they can never have it? Because that's how I grew up. I grew up on the south side of Chicago. I had very loving parents, my mom and dad. Unfortunately, they weren't able to maintain their marriage. And unfortunately, I repeated the cycle my mom had. She had took care of me by herself, my sister and I, and it was hard. I honestly have no idea how my mom did it on her own, basically earning minimum wage at that time. And thank God for this business and for the people that I work with, that I've been able to change the trajectory of that for my children. And I don't think any generation behind me will ever experience that. And I don't blame my parents. We didn't grow up with money. They didn't grow up with money. And if your parents don't know about money, how do you learn about it? But thank God I have the education. My children are learning about money, and I've developed and created a lifestyle for them where they're happy, they're content, they want for nothing now. And I wish the same for all women who are joining us. Maybe you're not there yet. Maybe you aspire to get to create a different life for your family and future generations. I think you can do that. I think our company can help you get there. Well, let's go through some statistics. Like, why do women need to care about these things? Like, why does it matter, Shantae? Well, first of all, in 6 years, by 2030, according to an article by McKinsey and Company from July of 2020, they estimated that by 2030, women are expected to control 30 trillion of financial assets in the US. $30 trillion. We are expected to maintain and carry out a lot of financial resources, but there's some problems with that. There's some huge problems that we're facing. So right now, we're living through a time period where it's the largest wealth transfer in history. What does that mean? We have generations who are passing money on to the next generation. Baby boomers transferring funds to their Gen X adult children. Gen Xers transferring money to millennials. That's my generation. We're seeing so much transfer of wealth right now in history, whether you realize it or not. And people are making big financial mistakes because they don't understand how money works. We don't realize, like, I think if one thing the pandemic showed us, the last couple of years, is that a lot of people are suffering financially. And a big part of that is because they just don't have the education. They're financially illiterate. And this actually isn't just a US issue. This is a global issue, which I'll touch on in a little bit. But for women, when we look at our statistics in particular, women, we serve as primary breadwinners in 40% of our households. Like if I ask the women on the Zoom right now, how many of you are the primary breadwinner? I think a majority of us will probably raise our hands. We actually own 30% of private businesses. That's an amazing statistic. We're creating jobs out there in this economy. 52% of women hold management and professional related positions. So we are doing a good job of advancing our careers. We're well educated. These numbers are from 2019. They're a little outdated, but 57% of us, as actually more now, are holding college degrees. So we're very well educated. We're advancing our careers. But why does it still feel like women are not empowered financially? Why does it still feel like we're not ahead where we should be? Well, it's because we're not. We're not ahead. When we look at statistics like this, we earn 82 cents for every dollar that's earned by a man. This is from a Forbes article in 2019. And to be honest, I wouldn't say that it's in particular like the wage gap. Like women, I would say some women still probably do get paid less for the same job that a man does. But the reason why we earn less is because we have more interruptions in our lives, which take us away from working, from having our careers. We take days off from work to take care of our children, our parents, our partners. I remember I was working corporate for quite a while prior to the 10 years since I've been at our company. I was in a corporate role in the financial industry. And I remember getting a call. My oldest daughter, she's 15 now. At the time she was in kindergarten. She was what, 5, 6 years old. I got a call at my job saying, Shantae, it's an emergency. Your daughter had an accident at recess. She fell off the monkey bars and broke her wrist. And what does every mama do? Stop everything. I have to go. I've got to go. I've got to get to my baby. She was on her way to the emergency room, and I absolutely want to be there for her. And I remember that day going to my manager at that time and saying, "Hey, my daughter just had an accident. I have to leave." And my manager told me, "Okay, you can go after you finish that report." I can go after I finish a report. My daughter just broke her wrist. But that's what we face when we're answering to someone else, when we have a job. And I remember that day, turned in the report, was on the train home because I was working in downtown Chicago at the time, going back home. And I remember sitting on that train, like, I will never, ever ask someone to be with my children. Never. But we do that. We're the ones who we stop our lives to take care of our children, to have children. When our parents get sick, who's the one taking care of them? We are. Oh my God, God forbid our partners get hurt or sick. They're the big babies. We have to take care of them. And because of that, we're not working as much. So over our lifetime, we end up earning over $456,000 less money than our male counterparts. We just don't make as much. If you're not clocking in and working, you're not bringing in the income. We spend 12 fewer years in the workforce. I have relatives who stopped working altogether because they had children. They became stay-at-home moms, which ultimately means that we earn lower lifetime earnings throughout our careers. And how does that affect us financially? Well, when it's time for us to retire, retired women receive 80% of what retired men receive in Social Security benefits. Why is that? Well, Social Security is calculated off of your top 10 earning income years. And if you're not working, or if you stop your career, you can't advance to those management levels or those C-suite executive levels because you're stopping. Like, realistically, are they going to promote us when we've taken off a year or two to have a baby and start a family? No, the men are going to get promoted. They're going to get access to the higher salaries. So we're not making as much money to even pay into the Social Security system, which means your benefits are lower. But those are.
Sure to skate on the carpet with your kids.
Oh, hold on, sorry. Make sure you all please keep yourselves muted. Um, but ultimately, when we think about those interruptions in life, women, we face the burden of that. And according to a recent retirement survey, 89%, and this retirement survey was from Think Advisor, it was a July 2021 article. And in that article, um, it says that 89% of women are not literate about retirement. 43% of women are not comfortable with investing in the stock market. 70% are concerned with guaranteed retirement income. 73% have no plan whatsoever for long term care. Women, we have some real issues that we have to face, and we can't do it alone. I mentioned long term care. A lot of folks don't understand that long term care, this is not an issue of trying not to go into a nursing home. That's not long term care. This is if you can't take care of yourself and perform two of the six daily living activities. You need help putting on your clothes. You need help eating, getting out of bed, walking, going to the bathroom, basic things to get going throughout the day. 70% of people over age 65 will need long term care services. And women, guess what? We live longer than men. We outlive our men counterparts. So we are going to need more long term care than men. And on top of that, we are less able to afford that care. Remember how one of the questions I asked earlier was who's going to take care of us? It's a real concern. Who's going to take care of us? Then we talk about investing. Women, I would say, and I see this in the many women that I sit down and work with, we actually are way better savers than men. We're pretty conservative when it comes to our savings. And because of that, we tend to invest less in the stock market, up to 40% less. So because whether we're scared or we just don't have the proper education, we don't take those risks, which means our wealth isn't growing. Men are more risky. They actually go full force with investing and they grow their money better than us, but we save better. So even if we're saving, we're not maximizing our savings. And so women, we need help with that. So what do all these numbers mean for you? What does this mean? First of all, I think everything that I touched on, somebody could say, that's me. That's my mom. That's my sister. That's my niece. That's my aunt, my friend, my best friend. It means that times have changed, that things are different. There's new challenges, and these challenges need new solutions. We need to do things differently when it comes to our finances. And that's why at our company, we believe, first of all, we just got to start having the conversations about money. Women, we need to ask questions. Like we need to learn. We're often timid. We don't raise our hand and say, hey, can you help me invest my money? Can you help me do XYZ? Can you help me save money for my kids? We don't do that, but we need to. We need to have these real hard conversations of and face the realities that we have in our lives. And that's why we created our book. I'm so proud of this book, How Money Works for Women. Our book came out last July, and it's been I can't tell you how many women I have gifted this book to. The person you invited, you can get you a copy of it if you don't have it already. But this book, for me, in addition to our first book that we have, How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker, these two books, I would say, are the best personal finance books that I've ever had read and used in my career. Most financial books are long, they have all these big words, they're very complicated. I love this book in particular, How Money Works for Women, is because it's women talking to women. Sharon Lechter and Kim Schooler co-wrote this book together. Kim Schooler has been in the financial services industry, oh my God, for 30 plus years. She was the president of our broker dealer for a period of time, and has helped thousands of families in her financial planning career. Sharon Lechter, guys, are you familiar with the popular book Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki? A lot of people don't know Sharon Lechter actually helped co-write that book for him. She was a CPA by profession. Sharon Lechter has actually worked with government officials to stop credit card companies from going onto college campuses to being predatory toward college students who have no income and they're getting them credit cards. So, I mean, just such a powerhouse Sharon Lecter. We're so blessed to have her co-write this book for our company, How Money Works, Take Control or Lose It. And I love they do interviews all the time. You heard them in the video at the beginning talking about the power of our book, our platform, the education. They've been all over the media talking about this book. But I love the tagline, take control or lose it. Take control of your money or lose it. And that's a very strong message that we share here at Wealth Wave. And in the book, we teach women and others basic financial concepts. Learn about the power of compound interest, the time value of money. My favorite financial concept is the rule of 72, which is it's a quick mental math shortcut that you can use to determine how long it would take your money to double when you're saving it. These are basic financial concepts that wealthy people know that everyone should know. And we educate these, we teach folks and we educate them about these different financial concepts. But one thing we know is that we can't apply the same plans and same solutions to every woman because we're all different. We're not the same. Being a woman is not a monolith. We're so different. We have so many different backgrounds. We all are different ages. We have different types of families, different cultures. We have different goals. And I think when we're talking about how can we help so many different women, we have to really look at the real statistics that affect women. And our book addresses all of them. Our book takes a look at how do we help different women in different stages of their lives. And I want to go through some examples, and you tell me, do any of these resonate with you? Nearly 75% of women do not have any plan to reach their financial goals. They have no goals. They don't even know, like, what should I be working on, including retirement. That's a scary statistic. As women, we plan a lot. Like, let's be real, we plan a lot in our lives. Like, we spend out maybe days or weeks planning birthday parties for our kids, months and years planning our weddings. I mean, heck, we even probably spend more time writing a grocery list than we actually do putting together our financial goals. Like, we need to be realistic about why are we not doing this? Let's sit down, take 1 hour, and put a plan in place for getting toward our goals. I touched on this a little bit earlier, but again, 80% of women die single, while 80% of men die married. It's a very strong likelihood that if you are partnered up, that you will outlive your partner. That you'll outlive them. So what does that mean? You need more money. You need more money. 80% of men die married. So they tend to end life with someone taking care of them, having all the financial resources. That's a big statistic, which then also goes on to show that more than 70% of nursing home residents and Alzheimer's individual patients, almost 2/3 of them are women. I've seen this. This is in my family. We're the ones who are needing that extra care, that extra help. And who's helping them? Look in the picture, it's another woman. And we're the ones who will step up and take that caregiver role. Remember how I talked about earlier that we're the ones who stop working? We're the ones who will stop working to go take care of our partners, our kids, and our parents. Women represent nearly 2/3 of unpaid caregivers and spend 50% more time providing care than men. It's in us. Like, that's okay. That's what we do. That's how we're naturally built to be caregivers. But the downside of that is we're 3 times more likely to end up in poverty and 5 times more likely to depend exclusively on Social Security. Now, Social Security was not meant to be the only source of income that you have in retirement. And trust me, if you ask someone who is in that situation, they're not living like the best life financially. Social Security is often not enough and is barely keeping them going. And that's what we try to help women avoid. We don't want them to become this statistic. But what about our younger generations? When we think about like our young teenagers, our young adults, women, remember how I mentioned we're very educated. 60% of us are earning college degrees. Women hold nearly 2/3 of all outstanding student loans. We're the ones who are paying back the student loans. And 1 year after graduation, women end up owing 10% more than men. So our younger generation, they need help. They need help as well. But what about if you're a parent or a caregiver of a family member or child with special needs? Nearly 1 in 5 children in the US have a special care need, representing 14.1 million children. And the estimated cost to raise a child with special needs is around $70,000 a year. That in itself is a job. How many women in our lives do we know that need help planning around planning their finances around their special needs children? This statistic is hard to talk about, domestic violence, but it's real. I think a lot of us, I think more women personally have experienced domestic violence than they probably even ever shared, myself included. And we have courses to talk to women about domestic violence. How does that affect them financially? Because 99% of domestic violence victims typically suffer financial abuse. Domestic violence hotlines receive approximately 20,000 calls every day, and it's mostly women. And men experience domestic violence as well, but we're the ones who experience it more than anyone else. And women end up staying in these situations, or they can't get out of it because they're controlled financially, them and their children. We have a whole chapter dedicated to how do we help women in domestic violence situations. And here's my story. Divorce, the story of divorce. 36% of divorcing couples are over age 50. When women go through divorce, they see their standard of living decline by 45%. Those are significant numbers. I know I have a client right now who's going through divorce. It's not fun. It's not. Like I said, for me, the worst thing that happened to me financially, going through a divorce. It's one of the hardest transitions, just similar to being a widow, like Marianne. But thank God Marianne had this business and she had plans in place with her husband before losing him. We miss that. Half of married women defer investing and financial decisions to their spouses, to their partners. We're not even at the table having conversations with the financial professionals that our partners work with. There are more than 11 million widowed women in the US. 51% of those women are age 65 and older, and they live on less than $22,000 a year. So I share these statistics because, again, I wanted to have a real conversation because the need is great. The need for what we do is great. We need, as women, financial professionals to work with us, to help us through all these life events, to help us not become these statistics. We need someone like us who will listen to us, who will educate us, who will inform us, and who will collaborate with us. We know that women clients, they want women financial professionals to work with. It's easier. When I sit down with a woman, like, when I sit down and talk to Marianne about money, we get it. We get each other. We understand what we're dealing with financially. And I'm not to say men don't do a great job. The men in our company are awesome. But women typically want to work with other women professionals. And our company's mission is to make it to where financial literacy is gone. We want to eradicate it, but we want families to dream again. And this is where we want to talk to you. This is why we invited you to come and learn about our company, because we need more people. We need more women to help us. So I really want to take the rest of the time here tonight just to introduce our company. I want to just give you a proper introduction to who we are, what do we do, why do we do it, how do we make money, all that good stuff. Because when I think of so many women, they're out there looking for opportunities. They're looking for ways to bring in more money for their families. And I want to just hope that you just give us a fair chance to say, like, maybe this could be a company that I could consider. So our company is called Wealth Wave. It's the How Money Works company, also known as the Money Milestones company. And we do two things. First, we teach people how money really works. We use our books, our resources. We have an amazing ebook that just came out literally a month ago. We want to educate people. That's the heart and passion of what we do. We have so many How Money Works educators here on the Zoom alone, across the country. We want to break that cycle of financial illiteracy and to help people start building and protecting wealth. The second thing that we do is we help employees transition to entrepreneurship. We help folks could get into being in business for themselves, becoming business leaders so they can build a future for themselves. Like, why do we go in business? Is because I want to make money to take care of my family. There's nothing wrong with that. We have an awesome program to help people do that. We bring folks brand new into the financial industry and help them get started with us. And let's talk about, let's say you were thinking about starting a business on your own and you were thinking of, you know, what do I do? Do I sell food? Do I work in retail? Whatever it is, should I get my real estate license? Like that's a hot thing to do right now, right? I would implore you that if you're going to go in business for yourself, why not go where the money is? Why not consider the biggest industry in the world, which is the financial industry, over 158 trillion? The real estate industry is a $34 trillion industry, but you hear a lot of people getting into real estate, right? Seems like everybody now has that license. And I'm not here to knock it. I think the real estate industry, you can be very successful. But I would also say right now, the real estate industry is struggling. I was meeting with a loan officer this morning for, another thing, and she was like, our office is dead. Like these transactions are not happening. People are losing their jobs, their careers, they're needing to do something else because the real estate market is not hot right now. They're not making any money. Some people say, "Oh, well, I'll just go work a part-time job at my, favorite retail store down the road." The industry is only 24 trillion. And you could take the retail industry and the real estate industry, combine them and double them, and they still will not be bigger than the financial industry. That's why I chose this industry. I didn't honestly when I graduated college, I did not think that I would be going in business. I never thought I would be a business owner, especially in the financial industry. I never thought it, but I'm glad that I'm here. I'm glad that I've been able to thrive in this industry because there's a huge problem to solve as well. Financial illiteracy is the number one economic crisis in the world. I talked about this earlier. This affects over 5 billion people in the world. When I think of having a business and a platform, I want to have a problem to solve. And I want to have many people who need the solutions that I offer to their problem. Everybody in this world is dealing in transaction with money every single day. They're making financial decisions every single day. So a lot of folks need help. I mean, I just went through all those statistics talking about women, all those different scenarios. People need help. The industry and the market is huge. And that's our vision is we want to see a world where everyone is financially literate. Everyone has the tools they need, the support they need to create a better life for themselves and for their children. That's all we want. And and guess what? The bigger part of that is while I'm helping other families, I'm helping mine. My family is being helped at the same time. But there's two forces that stand in our way. First of all, people are still not financially educated. We need more people out there teaching. We need more trained educators going out, sharing our books, going and teaching financial education workshops. We need more people. And when we first wanted to really tackle this problem of not having financial education, we could not find no platform that was great to do that. I mean, you hear of a couple people who have developed platforms, but we did not see any platform that could be used for every community, every culture, without any type of judgment. And that's why we created our own. We created our own HowMoneyWorks education platform. We do HowMoneyWorks workshops on so many different topics. Again, for women, for other families on different topics. We do these things on Zoom, in person, in your local library, at your children's school. We do it for teachers. We do it for families. They get together and we do a Zoom for them. We created our own financial education platform, and it's our not so secret weapon because our book has been seen millions of times on media, all these major news stations. Our platform, our resources have been shared. And when we talk about our resources, one thing I really like about it, like I said, is our resources, and these are things that you would have access to. There have such good engagement. their stories. They're real, they're honest, and they're up to date. They're in the 2020s after the pandemic. It's clear, it's simple. And not only that, especially in our women's book, after every chapter, there's an action list. Like, what should you do? We don't just tell you this pie in the sky information. We actually show you what to do. What's the next steps to take? How can you improve your finances? I love the practicality in our work. One of those things that we talk about is our 7 money milestones. I told you we're the money milestones company. We actually give people a roadmap. I can tell you, I've been in this industry almost 20 years, almost 20. And, this is beginning of my 19th year, actually. And I have never met not one person in my entire career who has had their whole financial picture 100% perfect. Never. And I work with very wealthy clients, millionaire clients, to very, other clients who don't have a lot of money, who they're just getting started. It doesn't matter to us. We work with everyone in between. Um, and I've never seen anyone who has had everything together. None, no one. You might think like, oh, my uncle is rich. He has it all figured out. Trust me, he doesn't. There's always opportunity. And so we take, families, we educate them, and we take them through this 7 money milestone process to show them, like, look, we holistically want to look at your finances. We want to look for any gaps, any areas of opportunity. If you have it figured out, if you have it in place, great, we can move on. But I'm telling you, I've never met anyone who's had it all together. There was always something that they could improve upon, or something that was completely missing. And what I like about our women's effort in our book is that we have these characters, these 9 characters in our book that really represent every woman in a different stage of life. As you can see in the book, it's literally from a 19-year-old student all the way up to a retired woman who's 86 years old. We talk to women at different stages, from the cradle to the grave, and they all have these different scenarios. They're, like I mentioned, victims of domestic violence, they're single parents, they're divorced, they're young students. We help women in so many facets of areas of their life. And that's one thing I really like about our book, is that we're able to relate. Like, I represent probably about 3 of these characters, actually, not just the divorced one, the single mom one. I mean, and we all could probably overlap with a bunch of characters in our own life. So the second force that we have, first was not having education available. The second force that stands in our way is that because people are financially illiterate, they're uneducated, they're confused oftentimes when it comes to finances, and the traditional financial industry is ready and willing to exploit them. And that's the fact. A lot of people are exploited because they just don't know any different, because they don't have the education. And so we wanted to create a company where we could help people get into the financial industry. We train them, we educate them to do things the right way, to take care of people the right way. So when we're working with families, we're breaking that cycle of illiteracy. We're teaching them how money works. We're helping them to take their knowledge and actually implement a plan. You know how you hear knowledge is power? No, we believe apply knowledge is power. When we give people that education, we tell them, now do something with it. Take care of your family. Let's set up the right financial accounts. Let's get the right insurance in place. Let's get these investments going. Whatever it is, we help them through that. Help them establish themselves financially and build that security and independence. But we also are a force for leaders. Like I said, we have the best platform, in my opinion. I've worked at, like Marianne mentioned, I worked at 4 or 5 other large investment companies. And the one thing, like when I first got into the industry, I was recruited straight out of college. I remember I grew up on the south side of Chicago. I grew up very poor. I didn't come from a family that had any kind of money. And the company that I was recruited into, they were like, oh, Shantae, the only people you can talk to are investors who have $250,000 or more. And I'm like, who do I know? I don't know anyone like that. That's nobody in my family, nobody in my neighborhood where I come from. It was very disheartening because the traditional industry was not built to help people like me and my family at that time. It wasn't, and it still isn't. To be honest, they only want to talk to the top 1% of wealthy people in this country. But the other 99% of us really need help. And that's what we said. You know what? We want to create a path for people to get into the financial services industry, teach them how to be leaders, give them mentorship, training, professional development, the system, tools, technology, so that they can become very strong business professionals and build a successful team and business as big as they desire. And that's what we do here. We have leadership centers all across the country. And this is where, our office that, most of us are locally in the Chicagoland areas in the western suburbs. We call it Oak Brook Financial Center. This is where we hold our weekly classes and workshops and webinars and all type of events. We have women's events. All type of events. And then we do trainings. This is where you find and build those lasting friendships. Like Marianne mentioned, I love having fun with her and hanging out with her and being in the office and we're meeting with people. We do that in our leadership centers. And one thing we do know is that people are looking. People are looking for new opportunities. 56% of workers, and this is from an article from last April, April 2023. 56% of workers are actively looking for openings. People are looking for opportunities. They want to do something different. They want to try something different. And I love that. I really do feel like it's no longer, gone are the days where you get a job, you work one place for 30, 40 years and retire with a thank you pen that you earn for your years of service, your decades of service. Those days are gone. People are looking for opportunities, and that's why we're trying to reach out to them because we feel like we have something real here. But also folks who are retiring or they're looking at changing careers. We see a lot of folks who want to work beyond retirement age and have a new career, an encore career. Retirement is no longer being that grandparent, sitting on a rocking chair on your porch and waiting for your grandchildren to come over. Like, people are retiring, they're still young, they're active, they're healthy, and they're like, what can I do with my time? What can I do to give back? What can I do to share my passion with the world? 57% expect to keep working past retirement age. We tell them, come work with us. We have the space here for folks to make a difference. And so how do we do that? We have different brands, depending on the day, you'll hear us talk about How Money Works or Wealth Wave. Our How Money Works platform is our education platform. This is where we go out and market ourselves and educate people, and we get them to a position where they want to trust us to take their finances to the next level. They get educated and then they need to implement solutions. We also have a platform called E2E. This is our employee to entrepreneur program. This is where we teach employees how to become an entrepreneur. We go through and educate them about what does it take to be an entrepreneur? What's the mindset that you need? What are the systems that you need? Like I mentioned, I got into this industry. I never thought that I would be a business owner, an entrepreneur, but this company made it easy for me. And so when you have a system of constantly educating folks and then also bringing folks into our industry, you create a business for yourself of clients who need help. You have new people working with you who you can help train and mentor as well to becoming a business leader. When I think about if I'm going to do something different with my life, why don't I go someplace where there's need, there's opportunity? Financial services for the unprepared. Like I mentioned, our markets are huge. Everybody needs help with their finances. Everybody. What about a way to where I can create income to live that long life that I will live in retirement? What about being someplace where I'm satisfied? Like, we don't talk about that enough. So many people, like I know a bunch of six-figure income earners and they're miserable. They are miserable. They hate going to work. They hate driving to some place. They hate having no control of their time. I love what I do. It's nothing more satisfying than getting on a Zoom and talking to someone and changing their lives and giving them financial solutions that nobody would have cared to do for them. But we do it every day, all day. But also, we're at an industry where there's such a need for distribution. We need more people working with us. That's why we're talking to you all. We need more people joining our crusade to join our women's financial education movement. When you look at the financial industry, it's a male dominated industry, and it's dominated by middle-aged men. Those men are getting to ready to retire. It's actually a fact where I think it was an article we were looking at last week that said 40% of financial advisors are about to retire themselves. So who's helping their clients? If we have a huge significant amount of people exiting our industry, we need more people coming in behind them. And I believe we have the best platform to help people come into this industry. One thing we're really known for is our digital marketing system. A lot of times when you're trying to go into business for yourself and be an entrepreneur, you're really going to need resources. You're going to need tools to help people, to spread your message, to show people what does it take to actually um, learn, to give that professional presence. From day one, if you start with us, you get access to a free website, tons of financial education presentations. So right away, you can immediately start sharing about our platform. Our platform, we have leadership, we have marketing, we have the best administrative back office, the best technology available to help you do business. And again, to start becoming a professional. I want to go through an example of a solution that we offer because I think it's important to share the financial income opportunity. We don't like bragging about income, because it's not the same for everyone, but I do want to show like how do we help people and how do we make money doing that. You guys see that name on the upper right corner, huge name, one of our best partners that we do business with. I'll just really briefly explain this. I won't go through the basic details, but this is basically an insurance product. We work in a very regulated industry. You have to get a licenses. And with this particular insurance product, you have a 30-year-old man, non-smoker. He's very healthy. He says, you know what? I have $300 extra a month. I want to maximize that. Great. One, let's get you properly protected. So he has a plan with a $400,000 death benefit. But guess what? This solution also allows money to grow inside of his insurance policy. It's growing in this example very conservatively at 6% interest. So over time, he starts at 30 and he puts in $300 a month and he stops by the time he turns 70. So for 40 years, he's contributed over $144,000. And because there is money that's been growing inside this policy, it's now accumulated to over $454,000. And he says, you know what? Now I want to pull money out this policy. He's able to take out over $33,000 a year. And if he took out $33,000 a year until he was 100 years old, he would have pulled out $1 million, over $1 million. It's crazy the financial solutions that are available that people have no clue about or they're not educated about properly. The whole point of this is someone saves $300 a month. They put in 144,000 and that turns into over $1 million. This is a real solution that we can establish for folks. It has to make sense. It has to, financially work in their budget, but this is how much we get paid off of it. And this is just an example of someone saving $350 into that same type of strategy. If you did 5 of those type of transactions a month at our senior contract level, you'll make over $9,000. Remember I told you the financial industry is the biggest industry is because there's money to be made here. And that's okay. Sometimes I think as women, we feel like we shouldn't talk about money or we feel like we shouldn't make money. Why not? I'm helping someone accumulate in that strategy over $1 million. I think I can make a couple $1,000s off of that. I'm helping that family change their financial future, and me helping them helps me help mine. It's a win-win situation. We will never do nothing that will never not benefit a client. And it just so happens we financially benefit from helping other people as well. So when we look at different ways to earn an income, our company is really structured like the real estate industry. You know how when realtors, they work with a broker, right? That broker, because they help train them, they help teach them how to sell homes. So when they go out there and sell a home, that broker gets a piece of it. We have a structure like that as well. You can come in here and do your own thing. You don't have to have nobody else work with you. But what if you were to bring someone along and help them become a financial professional and you train them? You actually benefit from the work that you put into them, and now they're independently be doing well as a financial professional. You can start offices all across the country. That's another thing that I like about our company is we're not limited. We really aren't. We have all these amazing companies that work with us that will that support us, our back office. When we're sitting down with a client, we're not, trying to pigeonhole them and put a square in a hole. Like we have thousands of financial products. We get to shop around, we get to find the best solution for them. And this is just a handful. We have over 100 financial and investment and insurance companies that we work with. So your success here is really dependent upon how many people are you helping. Is really proportional to the size of the problem that you're solving. We saw there's a huge need. Women in particular have a lot of need. We need more women helping us help them. And this is where I want you all to think, like, is this for me? Am I taking control? Do I have the freedom to say no? No to a boss. No more layoffs. No more required going into an office. No quotas. No answering to no one. Remember, I said that I made that decision. I will never again ask anyone to take time off to be with my children. I make those decisions. And I hope that you've learned more about the work that we do. I just want to kind of end these last couple slides. I got a few more to just share with you. How can you get started with us? One, at minimum, I hope you become a client. Let us help you. That person who invited you, they are an expert. They are absolutely an expert in this industry, and they can help you with whatever financial need you have. They can bring someone else to help you. We work as a team. Become a client. Go through that 7 money milestone process. Get the financial help that you need for yourself and your family. Or you say, you know what, Shante, I think I might give this a shot. I like what you guys do over there. I hope you do. I love it. You might consider working with us part-time. You'll be an independent contractor. We'll help you get licensed. We'll start training you. We'll bring you into our learning center in Oak Brook, help you grow as a leader, help you develop your game plan. What do you want in your life? We help that. And then maybe you'll get to a point where you're like me. You're doing this full time. I thank God somebody gave me the opportunity to learn about this company. I thank God that I had this company after my divorce because my children's Christmases are totally different now. We don't have to get those donations anymore. I'm able to live the life that I want for them and really provide something that I didn't have growing up. I'm very proud of that. So we encourage you, join the ranks of us women financial educators and professionals. Join us at our company. We need you. We really do need you here. And I want you to start thinking about, what does financial freedom look like to you? What does that mean for you? Are you taking your family finances to a different level? Are you vacationing the way you want to? Are you saving money the way you want to? Are you taking care of your kids the way you want to? Whatever that is, whatever financial freedom looks like to you, how are you going to get there? We know that we have the path, we have the tools and resources to get you there with us. So the last thing I'll share is, get started, reach back out to the person who invited you to our webinar. Text them, set up some time with them, talk to them about this business, ask them more questions. Ask them about the nitty gritty of what we do. How do we do it? How do we get paid? If you don't have a copy of our books yet, ask them for a copy of it. They'll be happy to get you a copy. But go back to that person who invited you to this webinar and share your thoughts with them. Maybe this isn't for you. That's totally fine. But you can't tell me that you don't know someone who could do this, who needs the help. It could be your sister, your parents, your sibling, whoever, your friend, your other coworkers. There's nothing bad that we do here, and there's so many people that we can help. So I want to thank you all for taking the time this evening to join us. Again, get back to that person who invited you, and let's enjoy the rest of Women's History Month while we have it here. So thank you all. Have a good night.